The sharp crack of gunfire echoed through the air, but no one turned to look at the quiet man standing in the corner of the shooting range. He was invisible to them, a man in worn boots, calloused hands, and a tired look that carried years of battles no one cared to know about. A single dad, a veteran, someone who had given his youth, his strength, and pieces of his soul to defend his country. And yet here, among polished shooters boasting of their skill, he was just another stranger with no name. But everything was about to change. His very first shot would silence the laughter, shatter the arrogance in the room, and carve his story into their hearts. If you're watching this, stay with me till the end, because this isn't just about bullets and targets. It's about dignity, hope, and the moment the world finally saw the man they ignored. And if stories like these touch you, don't forget to like this video and subscribe, because together, we spread voices that deserve to be heard. The man's name was Daniel Hayes. Once, he wore the uniform of the United States Army with pride. His fellow soldiers called him, Steady Hands, because no matter the chaos around him, Daniel never missed. But war leaves scars, some seen, most unseen. When Daniel returned home, the medals in his drawer couldn't pay bills, and the respect he thought he'd find never came. Employers looked the other way, neighbors whispered about the quiet veteran, and worst of all, his little girl Lily saw her father come home only to struggle in silence. At the range, Daniel didn't come to impress anyone. He came because Lily, only 12, had begged him. She'd seen a flyer about a local shooting competition and told him, "Dad, you're the best shot I know. You should show them." Daniel had chuckled, brushing her hair back, but inside, he knew people like him, worn, forgotten, weren't welcome among champions with shiny gear and big sponsors. Still, he wanted his daughter to smile. So here he was, carrying an old rifle that had been with him since deployment, the wood scratched and faded but steady as ever. The range buzzed with energy. Men in sleek shooting glasses laughed, bragged, and slapped each other on the back. The reigning champion, Brad Coleman, towered over the group. Brad was known for his arrogance almost as much as his skill. His record stood untouched for years, and he made sure everyone knew it. When Daniel stepped up quietly with Lily at his side, the room grew hushed before erupting into sneers. "Hey, old-timer, wrong place," Brad smirked. "The soup kitchen's 2 blocks down." The others laughed. Daniel kept his head down. Lily's hand squeezed his. She whispered, "Don't listen, Dad. Just show them." The announcer shrugged. "All right, new entry. Daniel Hayes. Let's see what you got." Daniel adjusted his stance, memories rushing back. The dust of foreign fields, the weight of silence before the storm, the voice of his commander yelling, "Steady, Hayes, steady." He lifted his rifle, his breath calm, his pulse even. The crowd didn't notice the way his shoulders straightened, the way discipline returned to his frame. Lily noticed. Her eyes widened as if she saw her hero again. The first shot rang out. The bullet tore through the air and slammed dead center into the target, splitting the bullseye with surgical precision. A hush fell. The screen displayed the score, higher than Brad Coleman's record. For a moment, no one breathed. Then gasps, murmurs, disbelief. "No way," someone muttered. Another shook his head. Brad's smirk vanished, replaced by a clenched jaw. Daniel lowered his rifle, calm as if nothing had happened. Lily jumped and hugged him tight. "Dad, you did it," she squealed, tears glistening in her eyes. For the first time in years, Daniel felt seen, not for his scars, not for his silence, but for his skill, his worth. Brad stormed forward. Beginner's luck. One shot doesn't mean anything. His voice cracked, betraying his fear. The announcer, sensing the moment, asked, "Mr. Hayes, care to finish the round?" Daniel nodded. Shot after shot, he fired with unshakable calm. Each bullet whispered of years of discipline, nights spent under foreign skies, sacrifices no one here could imagine. By the end, his score didn't just break the record, it shattered it beyond reach. The crowd erupted, not with laughter, but with awe. Men who had sneered moments before now clapped, whistled, and leaned forward to shake his hand. Daniel accepted none of it. He turned only to Lily, lifting her in his arms. "This is for you, kiddo," he said softly. Brad, red-faced, threw down his gear and stormed out, the king dethroned. And in that silence after the storm, Daniel Hayes stood tall, not as a forgotten veteran, not as a man struggling in the shadows, but as a father who had reminded his daughter, and perhaps himself, that true worth doesn't fade. When they left the range, Daniel noticed something different. Strangers nodded respectfully, some even saluted. Lily beamed, holding her father's hand proudly, her voice bright as she told everyone, "That's my dad. The best shot there is." Daniel smiled, not because he had broken a record, but because his daughter saw him, not the man the world ignored, but the hero he had always been. And that's the story, friends. A story of quiet dignity rising above arrogance, of a father proving not to the world but to his child that he still carried greatness within him. If this story moved you, take a second to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and share it with someone who might need the reminder. The world may overlook you, but your worth never fades. Because sometimes, all it takes is one shot to change everything.